Hello, and welcome back to the channel. As most of you know, I'm Topher. And for those of you who don't know and just randomly decided to click on my video, welcome to the channel. I'm Topher. Thank you for stopping by. So here to do reaction, and we are reacting to episode 2 of I Told Sunset About You. I just finished watching episode 1, and I'm just so excited about this show. It just makes me so happy, the prospect of where the show's gonna go. And just watching through the first episode, it took me down a completely different path than I thought I was gonna go. And I'm still not sure where these characters are gonna end up, what's gonna happen in this story, but I'm excited to find out. So we're gonna dive into episode 2, which is about hour 15, hour 20 minutes long. So for whatever reason, they split this one up very disproportionately. The first episode was split up like 35 minutes. This one's split up like 57 minutes and 16 minutes. So I don't know. So I'll pause it at some point in here and give some thoughts, but we're just gonna dive on into episode 2.
จริงๆกูไม่รู้กูเป็นไรอ่ะแต่เดี๋ยวก็หายช่างมันเถอะเต๋
So I'm gonna pause it for a second. So what I'm guessing is going on, and it may be a subconscious thing. He just may not be fully, well, that's why it'd be subconscious. He's not fully conscious of why he feels this way. Like he just said, he's not sure what's wrong with him, but it'll go away. He may just be saying that, or it may actually just not know what's going on. And I get that way from time to time. Sometimes I'll just be in a bad mood and I don't know why. And I can't really put my finger on it. Things just, I don't feel right. But I'll reflect on it. A couple days later, I might be able to track down what's going on. But I feel like with Tae, what's happening that right then, at least, I don't think that he was seeing it as a date or anything like that, but I do think he was seeing it as more time with just the two of them, just him and O. And got to the restaurant and those plans changed. And I know for me, I'm the type of person who I don't like my plans to change last minute. It's very hard for me to process things that change when plans change last minute. I got a very busy schedule. I run all over the damn place. I plan things out accordingly. So whenever things just change last minute, and it's like, oh, all of a sudden, yay, now instead of just this, private time where we're gonna study, it's actually social hour. It's like, okay, I didn't mentally prepare for social hour, and I'm somebody who needs to mentally prepare for social hour. I'm very much an introverted kind of personality, so for me to be in a very social set, for me to be one-on-one with someone, whether we're just hanging out or we're, I'm tutoring you or whatever the thing is, that's one thing. One-on-one, cool, fine. But to be in a very social setting with a group of friends, even if they are good friends, still I have to mentally prepare for that. I have to go into it ready. I can't just at the drop of a hat, okay, yeah, we're gonna be social, when I was planning on not being social. It's just not a thing that can happen. So I feel like Tae might have been in a similar kind of boat where he was mentally prepared and planning on this one type of evening happening, and then at the drop of a hat, a completely different kind of evening, change of plans happened, and that change of plans just threw him for a loop, and he didn't know how to process, so more or less he kind of shut down and withdrew himself a little bit. And very relatable to me. I completely understand it. So yeah, I feel like that's kind of what was happening. I could be completely wrong. I could be completely off the mark. Maybe he thought it was a date. Maybe, I don't know. I could be completely wrong. But that's where I'm feeling his headspace is right now, in the sense that he just didn't know how to process this change of plans that just happened, and he just kind of mentally withdrew himself. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But I just want to get that out before it's in my head. But we'll dive back in and see. I see that knee. Bitch.
Yeah.
God, I thought he was going in for a kiss. Child, this friendship got me stressed. Oh, you like that coconut now?
กลิ่นอะไรวะทำไมหอมจัง
ก็ใช้กลิ่นมะพร้าวเหมือนเดิมนะ
Bitches in love, Lord. Lord help us. Okay. So, what I love about the show, which I've already said like a dozen times at this point, but I love how it keeps subverting my expectations and it keeps keeping me on my toes, because like I'm expecting, they give me some little bit of information and I'm expecting this series to go this way, and then all of a sudden it goes this way and I'm like, okay, well I guess we're going this way. But then right when I'm on board with us going this way, boom, we head back this direction, and I'm like, okay, I'll follow along. Then all of a sudden, bam, we got a fork in the road, and we go in like four different. I can't keep up with what's happening in the show, and I love it. Like, I don't think, and I've reacted to quite a number of BL series at this point. Some, you know, major heavy hitter Filipino BL series, a couple Korean, one Taiwanese, and I think this might be my first like Thai, like from Thailand. Maybe I might have done one other, I'm not entirely sure. But I've reacted to quite a number of BL series at this point, and never have I felt this confused and excited by my two protagonists as I have in watching this series. Like, I don't know. Like, all the characters, I feel like all the characters were really well written, and I like all of them. So, like I've said before, I'm fine. I was fine with Te being shipped with Tarn. I was fine with that. I made my peace with the fact that Te wasn't going to be with O, and that this series was just going to be about them rebuilding their friendship. That was going to be their, you know, relationship arc in this series. It was going to be about them rebuilding their best friendship, and the actual BL boys love part of it was going to be O and Bass. But now Tess is he's having these little behavioral things, he's going into these little mood swings, and he's acting in certain ways that I interpret as him having feelings, having romantic feelings towards O, and trying to A, get his attention, B, get him to like him back by trying to make him jealous. And like, the reason I'm thinking this is because I've had those thoughts. I've been there. Like, it's not a place that I go very often. It's not a place that I'm proud that I've been, but it's definitely a place that I've been in the past, where there was a gentleman caller who wasn't calling me, but I very much had interest in him romantically. He did not, but it's a long ass complicated story, and y'all ain't got time for that story. But in a sense, whenever we hung out or whenever we were in public, like just the interactions we had, people thought that we were an item. I very much would have loved us to have been an item at the time, and just his behaviors and whatnot would lead you to believe that yes, we were an item, but we weren't. And I remember being in that sort of headspace where I'm like, okay, well, hey, I would very much like him to notice me, very much like him to pursue me, you know, be interested in me romantically. So how can I get his attention? How can I turn his head? How can I make him jealous? So, you know, I'm not a huge dating person. I don't date a whole lot, but like there were a couple like Tinder dates or whatever I went on at that point, and I made sure to let him know that these dates were happening. He was very much like, we had very much a kind of sort of dynamic that Ted and O had, in a sense, as far as like the communication ones. There was a lot of constant communication between the two of us, like daily, back and forth, constant communication. So, you know, trying to turn his head, you know, get his attention, I went on whatever dates, and then I purposefully ignored texts that I would get or phone calls that I would get, you know, with the guys that I was on a date and whatnot. But I saw them come through, and I could, you know, just trying, you know, stupid little petty things, trying to get attention, trying to make him jealous, trying to make him like me. But, you know, it's one of those lessons I've learned over time. You can't force someone to like you. You can't make them like you. And, you know, it's just a lesson you gotta grow up and learn and whatnot. So move past that. And he and I are, you know, great friends at this point, and, you know, move past that. But said all that to say, like, I feel like Ted is doing these things out of whether or not he's conscious of it, whether or not he's conscious of the fact that he has some sort of romantic link or some sort of romantic feeling towards O. He's doing it out of, he's trying to make him jealous, he's trying to get his attention, because he wants him to himself. Not that he's, you know, not that O is his property or anything like that, but just like last episode, or it might have been earlier this episode, when he got really upset that O told the rest of the friend group that he was chaste, or he was a virgin or whatever, and because that was a secret, that it was just between them. He thought that was just something special between them. So then O told him another secret, like, hey, I like bass. And they had that really sweet moment, and at that moment, when he told him he liked bass, and they were going back and forth, and they were just talking about how, like, they seem like two giddy little schoolgirls. Like, they seem like me and my friends whenever one of us has some sort of romantic interest or a crush or something like that. And it was so sweet, it was so endearing, and I was like, oh my gosh, this makes me so happy. So, and at that point, I thought, okay, Ted is just, he was just jealous that his friend, that he was feeling like his friendship wasn't special like he thought it was, because all these other people are also getting the same level of friendship. But now that he's been assured that, okay, his friendship is actually something really special, and here's a secret, now we're all great again, and, you know, we can share our love, interest, and all that. And then he was trying to help him, you know, get Bass's attention and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, okay, this is so sweet, I'm so happy for them. But then as soon as O got Bass's attention and he's listening to Ted's advice, you know, Ted pushed O into the arms of Bass. Now all of a sudden he's getting jealous, and he's like, where you at? All right, let me see if I can make you jealous. And like there towards the end, that last little scene on the boat, I feel like there's more emotions, more feelings to be explored that weren't quite said. And I thought they were gonna kiss. Because he's like, oh, you guys kissed? Oh, I can't believe it. How'd it happen? He's like, how do you think it happened? And all of a sudden, O starts, you know, spreading his legs and, you know, trying to touch Ted's knee. And like, then they had a little tickle fight and whatnot, and they got real close. And then he starts sniffing his head, and he's like, what is this, you know, lovely scent? Oh my gosh, like, it's still the same coconut. Because When you're in love, you are blind. Love is blind. Love is so blinding. And all those things that you despise, those things you hated, as soon as you fall in love with somebody, completely erased. You just, boom, you're blind to it. So that coconut smell that we've made it very apparent that he hates, the smell, the taste, everything of coconut, he hates it. All of a sudden, it's the most beautiful smelling thing he's ever smelled in the world, because he is feeling stuff that maybe he has not admitted yet, but Lord, those feelings are there, and now I don't know how to feel. I don't know how to feel, and it makes me so excited that I don't know how to feel. I don't know where the story's going, but I feel... This show is a ride. It is a ride and a half. Lord Jesus. First episode had me crying. This episode's got me just, it is a ride and a half, and I don't know where this ride is gonna take us, but Lord Jesus, I'm excited. I'm excited. I am happy. These characters make me so happy, and it's just the way it's all written, it just makes me so happy. And I love, like I mentioned, I love the music, I love the underscoring. It's even the, the super dramatic boom, 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 or, all that kind of stuff that they had going on in the first episode, signifying the conflict between Tano and, just, it's so good. The show is so good. I'm so glad that I found that Facebook group, and yeah. So, that's enough of my babbling about this episode. It was another fantastic episode full of just twists and turns, and I would love to sit here and watch the entire series, and I probably could, but no, I'm gonna save the rest of this for next week's episode, next week's reaction. So I hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, turn on notifications so you be notified when all my shenanigans get posted. If there's anything else you'd like me to react to, be sure to leave it down in the comments. I'll get to it as soon as I possibly can. If you'd like to support the channel in other ways, you're more than welcome to join us over on Patreon. You don't have to, but you're more than welcome to if you want to. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Love ya. And before you guys go, a shout out to my amazing patrons. I can't begin to express how thankful I am for your support. And if you guys would like to join us over on Patreon, the link is down in the description. I love you guys.